So this is Sean with Bar Austin. We're here with Bruce, and he is a solo musician as well as he works with TMMP, a booking agency here in Austin, Texas. How's everything going, man?
Fantastic, man. No complaints.
So take us back to March 17th when the bars closed down. Like, what's happening? Do you have a show that day?
Yeah, man. So it was St. Patty's Day. Mm-hmm. I remember it very well. I was playing at a new club, new to our roster. They're called the Tipsy Alchemist on Rainy Street. And they will be back, actually. I think they just hit us up recently, but which is great. But yeah, I was excited to play. New spot. It was like an indoor-outdoor spot. And then my buddies in Audic Empire were going to play right after me.
Nice.
So it was a good lineup because we have similar styles. And yeah, then I just remember that was like the big day where everything kind of just came to a screeching halt. So yeah, at the time I was pretty bummed. So I basically taught myself how to do a like webcast with the OBS processing system, and I just had my own show in my little office room here, and ended up still being a good time, man. You know?
And you've been doing that pretty consistently throughout this whole thing.
For a while, I wanted to be the guy right off the bat that kind of made it a point to do one every single night, and I was trying to keep it fresh by like switching up themes, doing like request only nights, and like. Because I know, all of a sudden everybody's doing live streams, so I knew like right away, like, all right, you gotta strike while the iron's hot, and like just be. If you're gonna be that guy, just be that guy and get out there and play.
Mm-hmm. But like you said, do something different, like have those different styles per the night and things like that.
Yeah,
just to separate yourself.
100%.
Yeah. So, you've been doing any writing during this time, or you just been kind of just live streaming it?
Sadly, no real writing. But the beautiful thing about this, at least for what I do, is I've learned so many new songs, new cover songs. I've done tribute nights to Willie Nelson, Bob Marley, Sublime. And when I say tribute, like I basically did a whole web show about them, and I was doing all these deep cuts, like all these Willie songs that, before I used to know like maybe 6 Willie songs, and now I know about 16.
That's still like 1% of his catalog or something like that.
Exactly, man. I could do many Willie Nelson tribute nights, but that's been a blessing because my catalog went from like 250 songs to probably close to 350 songs at this point.
That's awesome. Yeah, that'll definitely help when the shows start to pick up even more.
Absolutely. And again, as you know, it keeps it fresh. We've been playing the same songs, the same cover songs for how many years?
You're so busy, you don't really have time to learn them. And so, yeah, that's a good thing to have done, is to take time and learn some new ones.
Mm-hmm. And then also playing the shows every night, too. It kind of kept you fresh, too, because I had a couple friends tell me that, like, they're just out of practice and they weren't used to talking to the crowds. And even when you're playing to a computer, I would keep my phone next to me. You're still interacting with people. Like part of the fun with the webcast would be like all the banter in between and, making people laugh and talking to your friends and stuff that would comment. So it was still this like interactive show, you know what I mean? So it's still like the positive of all that was it kept, at least for me, it kept my chops up. So when the gigs started to trickle in now, I feel like I haven't missed a beat.
Right, and it's, like really, like you say, kind of approaching it as different mediums. It's really 3 different things. You have the recorded record, you have your live show, and then you have like the live streaming show. And they're all 3 different and cool in their own respects. Exactly.
And at the time, that was from March 17th still indefinitely. At the time, that was all we could really do, was just move forward. I didn't want to sit around and pout or complain. It was just like, all right, I like playing 6-7 gigs a week, so I'm going to keep playing 6-7 gigs a week. The show must go on.
I feel you, man. Like, yeah, it's been a definite change, and like figuring out a way to make it as similar to normal as possible has been critical for me, at least.
I agree. Yeah.
So you work with TMMP as well. What are you seeing as far as, shows going back and things like that?
I think it's been fantastic so far. We had a couple places that were doing very, very limited like curbside pickup stuff where we were even live streaming from their places. And these were both, the two venues were both big outdoor spots that was the stage was very far away. But now we're starting to see more of our regular venues coming back under the new rules. And there is a lot of excitement right now, which is great. I mean, Tammy, God bless her, you know how busy she is throughout the year. And right now she's starting to ramp up the engine again. And she's getting texts and calls from a lot of people that are, we've made a list, people that have pulled the trigger on a green light, people who are kind of at the yellow light right now, but they're ready to go. And then people who have given us future dates, like say June 1st or July 1st. So we're getting the old gang of venues back together slowly but surely. But the onslaught so far has been fantastic.
And just you personally, like, what venue are you looking forward to playing? Like once, you know.
Oh, that's a really hard question. I have so many favorites. You know, it's a seasonal thing too. Like in the summertime, I love playing. I love to play the Salt Lick. I love to play the Omni poolside. Emerald Point Bar and Grill, which has opened up, has been fantastic. I love going up there. It's beautiful on the lake. So yeah, seasonal stuff for sure. You know how summer gigs come, and
definitely.
But I've been looking forward to those since the cold days of January and February. So it feels good to have some of those coming back.
Right, and actually, kind of, because I think a lot of the people that I've talked to were kind of lining stuff up for the summer previous to all this stuff happening, and then now we're actually going to get to the point where we're going to start actually getting to do those. Absolutely,
yep.
Talking to everybody, and then, thinking about, like, South by Southwest and, like, just kind of the over-corporatization maybe of it over the past, 10 years or so, like, what changes would you like to see from the industry as we go back? Do you want things to go back to exactly as they were, or would you like to just see some kind of, like, different things happen?
I think one of the blessings that you remember when South by was like looming like a cloud on the horizon, and a lot of big sponsors kept pulling out and everyone was kind of freaking out. You probably remember how cool it felt where like the Facebook group, It's Unofficial in Here, started, and then you see all these venues that had the big people pull out. They started rallying around the local scene, and they were having these local parties and everything was planned, and everyone was really pumped up about that. And it kind of went down. It kind of just hit the tip of the iceberg with all that stuff. But to see that kind of enthusiasm again, I think a lot of people were excited about that. A lot of like true locals, or even people that have been here 5+ years, they thought that excitement and that local vibe to it was what it needed in the first place. Because come on, South by Southwest doesn't even, if you live in Austin, it doesn't seem very Austin to you, especially if you're like a working musician here. It's kind of like our week off where we're not going to get paid. Other people from all over the world come and play our stage. So to have that local tribalism and like that rallying cry, I think that would be fantastic in future South by Southwest.
So like more of a community.
Absolutely. Yeah. More local centric, like still have the people come here, but exploit us,
Yep. And that's the reason I asked that question. We had Joe Nick Patowski on a couple episodes ago, and he, read the biography for Willie and Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he was talking about, because he's written a thing about Austin as well, and he was just talking about, that now is the time for the industry to change,
Yeah.
Because, all these events couldn't happen. Mm-hmm. And so now that we can start going back to things, it's kind of our choice of how to make them better than they were before.
100%, man. And I'm going to have to go back and listen to that interview, because I'm sure the points there are all, super valid. But yes, that's exactly kind of how I feel. I mean, I want to get to the point where I don't dread South by Southwest. Like this year, I wasn't even going to stick around. I had tickets to go see my favorite hockey team, the Pittsburgh Penguins, play at Madison Square Garden. I was going to fly home, hang out with my family for a few days, go to the game. Obviously, that didn't happen, but you know what I mean? That was my attitude about South by this year. I was like, I don't know if I can swear on here. I won't. But
no, you can. You can. Okay. You say whatever the fuck you want.
I was going to say, like, yeah, my attitude was like, fuck South by. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I That's not my thing. Like, I don't really make money. You know, I'm going to go down and play a free show. I'm going to pay $35 to park my car and lug my amp. It's not fun for me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I don't think it's fun for really many of the artists that live here. I think if you're from somewhere else, it's a great opportunity to play in Austin and have people from all around the world see you.
True.
But like for people from here or currently living here, I mean, like you say, it's just our week off. Like I was planning on working on a record during South by.
There you go. Exactly. So you had the same attitude as me towards it. It's like, yeah, it's basically a blip on the calendar that our regular stuff, our residencies, they're gone. So you might as well do something else. You know?
Yeah, just plan on not making any money for that week, basically.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so like with TMMP, I know Tammy is organized like a fundraiser for some of the musicians. I just want to kind of get the word out about that as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, hats off to Tammy. She does a lot, man. She does more than people realize. The fundraiser is called, I think she just called it Musician Fundraiser. There's an exclamation point after the word fundraiser, and it's by Tammy Miranda. She's already raised, you know, a modest like $1,200 so far, but it's going to the musicians on our roster that are still struggling right now. They're still struggling to qualify for unemployment. They're struggling with, I mean, just this morning, she helped somebody out who was having car problems. She Venmoed him some money to help pay for that bill. I don't know what the problem was with the car, but it's things like that. Like if you're on a roster and you send her a message, she's going to help you out. If you're, so far, it's been all the money's been raised by the musicians themselves promoting it and sharing it, and people have been kind. And some musicians are even going as far as playing live shows, you know, web shows, that the proceeds are donated to that. So it's a really cool thing, man. A lot of people don't go out of their way like she's doing.
That's awesome. And then, you know, like going back to that, you know, community thing. I mean, I think that's what I want to see out of this whole thing is more of that kind of stuff, you know?
I agree. I mean, you know, from our group, our roster, you know, we're all peers in a weird way. We're almost like competitors at some points that for certain gigs, like when we have to submit links and who has the best links and who clients are going to pick. But beyond that, we all respect each other. We're all, you know, most of us are very friendly towards each other. It's a group of friends, man. We care about each other, and nobody wants to see somebody struggling. Some of us are doing fine, you know, and some of us aren't. Some people didn't predict this was going to happen. Some people didn't have savings. Some people did. So the bottom line with the fundraiser is it is helping in good little ways as it should, and the money's being allocated properly to the ones who need it.
Sure. And what do you think as a musician, like going forward to book shows and stuff like that, what are some things you think it'd be important to have, or like, you know, either for yourself personally or from the standpoint of the booking agency, like what should we all be doing at this point to kind of promote ourselves to get these shows?
Well, I think it comes down to, well, a couple things. I think I got to explain this. One particular person has a different hustle than another person. And the word hustle goes beyond what you'd think that word means on face value. The hustle is going the extra length to market yourself better, brand yourself better, have a better looking website, update your song list, update your business cards. Just you got to go that extra mile. Make cool online flyers, post them in different groups. And when you're at gigs, just treat every single gig like the manager is watching you and judging you and deciding whether you're going to come back or not. I mean, treat every single set like it's very important. Even if there's a few people there, I think gigs are going to get more and more competitive because so many people lost them, and they're going to be tougher to get.
So many people need to play a lot more to make up for what they lost.
100%. So I think a lot of people are going to be hungrier. So if you're just going to coast through it, like maybe some of us have been coasting through it, maybe some of us haven't, but I think everyone needs to throttle up their game and really get out there and hustle and treat your shows, whether it's your band or your, like me, I just have a solo show that I do. You got to treat that like it's your career, it's your business, and your business shouldn't be run just by the moment you're playing on stage. It should be run off stage too. And every day you should be thinking about how I can make my career better.
And a lot of the argument that I hear from musicians of why they don't do that is, oh, I don't have enough time. Well, if you don't have shows booked yet, now's your time to go ahead and do that. Like, make all those templates, and then just bam, when you got a show, just upload all that stuff.
Or if you don't have enough time, you're not a real.
Well, sure.
Well, you're not a real career musician. You're doing something else, man. You're either playing video game, or you got a different job. Are you a hobbyist that plays on the weekends? Like, come on, there's levels to this game. So,
well, yeah. You know, but now, like, your excuses are really out the window. You have the time now. If you're not taking it, like, then you're exactly what you're saying.
And those people that were sleeping, who weren't playing gigs during the lockdown through Facebook and through various other streaming platforms, those are the people that are probably going to get caught, you know, with this. Right. I think now it's not necessarily a jog anymore. I think it's going to be a sprint out of these gates. And I know personally, I'm taking every gig like I'm playing stubs. You know, I'm taking it so seriously and trying to impress the crowds, impress the managers, because I want my old schedule back. My calendar used to be booked solid, and I'm working on that same thing, man. And it's I think, again, back to the original point, my advice going forward to musicians is you just gotta kick it up a few gears, and you really gotta push hard, promote hard, and show practice and prove that you want these gigs, you know.
For sure. No, I definitely agree. And then with the 25% like restriction that it is now, like what do you think as far as like money going forward? Because a couple of things I've heard from some different artists is that they feel like over a certain period of time that people may not be able to pay if the bars are only allowed to have 25%. Are you seeing anything like that? Or
I mean, it depends. There's one place we were playing where basically paid like $20 to show up for, you know, some gas money, and we were playing for tips. And one thing I've noticed, because I've been logging my gig information for years, the amount of money I make, the tips.
Another smart thing to do if you're not already doing that.
Yeah. But I've noticed the tips are way up because people are being really generous. It's either a combination of people being really generous, or they're just really excited to see live music again, man. You should see some of these people's faces when they see live music again. People dancing and having fun. And just and the applause. You know how it is. Sometimes you play at a bar and nobody's really clapping. That's not because you suck. It's because people are hanging out at a bar and there's a guy playing in the corner. But
because I can get in the middle of 6th Street and turn and point, and I can see 10 different bands.
Oh, 100%. But I just think the patrons are way more attentive and they're appreciative. And I know as a musician who's just started playing gigs again, I'm way more attentive and appreciative as well. So I think it could just be that weird energy thing in the room and the positivity, and all of a sudden that positivity manifests in your tip jar. And but as far as you know, as venues being able to afford bands, stay in it. I mean, I think music is the backbone of a lot of these places. I think we're just important as the drinks they serve. And I really believe that. And I just hope that we all kind of, I mean, I'm not an economist. That's the problem with this answer. But,
well, sure. No, I mean, just your opinion. Nobody, we'll have the legal disclaimer, you know, but.
Right. But I just hope, you know, my fingers crossed, and I just hope they could survive, and I hope the patrons tip everybody well. I hope they tip the bartenders very well. I hope the patrons order that extra round. All those cliche things, but like, you know, buy a T-shirt. You know, there's a lot of cool bars downtown. They have great merchandise. Go buy a hat, buy a cool T-shirt or something. I'm optimistic. I refuse to be pessimistic. From St. Patty's Day when it shut down till now, I'm a for eternal optimist. So I just hope through grit and maybe a longer time frame that everyone will get through this. They'll all survive. The musicians will get paid. The customers will take care of the bar and the musicians. That's my perfect world, but that's what I visualize. So I hope that's what happens.
No, hopefully we can all keep that attitude in mind. I think that's the right attitude. Caring about each other, whether it's caring about the bartender and making sure you tip them a little extra, or caring about the musician. And even if you don't have money to tip them, pay attention to the fucking song.
That's a big one too. Yeah.
You know?
Or definitely a nice round of applause, or even after the show, a compliment always feels fantastic. You know that when someone says, "Hey man, great job. I really enjoyed your set." It always feels good. You always act like, "Oh, thanks," but inside, your heart's melting a little bit. You're like, isn't this why I signed up to do this, man? It feels good to get feedback from people, good feedback, and it feels good to make people happy,
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's why I started in the beginning, is to kind of, the music I listened to made me feel a certain way. And so hopefully, my intention is always that I hope the music I play makes somebody feel something similar to what I felt.
No doubt.
So if people are looking you up online, like, where do we look you up and how do we support you, whether it's going to a show or supporting, are you going to continue doing live streams at this point?
I'll probably put a pause on the live stream just because I was super greedy at first, being that guy playing every night. But, right now I'm very fortunate to be playing Emerald Point Bar and Grill. I play, the thing about me is I'm really adaptable to a venue. I could play country stuff. I could play rock stuff. I could play the gritty clubs on 6th Street. But I love me deep in my heart. I love me some reggae music, some tropical music. So when I bring it to Emerald Point, it's right up their alley, that vibe. So I'm lucky they've asked me to return a lot this summer. So I'll be at Emerald Point Bar and Grill a lot this summer, almost every Saturday.
Sweet.
And my stage name is I kind of started a brand. It's called IslandMind. And originally I was going to start an original band with that name. This is a whole nother story. It was actually going to be a doom metal band. That's too long of a story, but I designed the logo. It was, it's me. I'm into like really dark stuff. I'm kind of a metalhead at heart. But I ended up just taking this new name, IslandMind, and making it my brand. And the IslandMind brand kind of fits all the music. You can catch me at a country club, a nice country club. You can catch me at a pool, a lake, or you can catch me at a gritty rock club. You'll get the same guy, but different styles of music. And so my website is islandmindmusic.com, which, oh my God, I need to update that. I don't think I've updated it since March, but there you go. Getting back to the hustle. I'm going to write that down.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, but man, I'm optimistic that the regular gigs are going to come back soon. I used to have a Wednesday residency at Maggie Mae's. I used to have a Monday residency at Bungalow on Rainy Street. So I'm hoping those will be back soon, man.
What's a place that you haven't played in Austin that maybe you want to play now that it's, this is all coming back?
Well, back when I had an original band, we got to play Stubbs once, and that was like a freaking dream come true.
But that was awesome.
It was incredible. That's a tough one, man, because with what I do now, the entertainment and the cover stuff, it's not those magical venues you really dream of. Like I never got to play Mohawk outdoor. I thought that'd be cool. I played the indoor, but until I get a new original band sometime down the line, that's a tough question to ask.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the Salt Lick and Driftwood open back up because I absolutely adore playing at that place.
Okay, that was what I was going to say. Well, then what place are you looking forward to that you have played,
Yeah, absolutely, the Salt Lick. I love playing the Omni Barton Creek Resort. And there's a couple more. Shout out to CU29, or some people actually call it Copper because that's what it's like, CU29. That's like what it means on the periodic table, but I've always called it CU29. So shout out to them. That's one of my favorite places to play. It's a real intimate cocktail bar on it's like on kind of like 6th and Brazos, 7th and Brazos right there.
That is a really cool spot.
Yeah.
I dig that spot.
Yeah, man. There's so many. I always say like every place is my favorite place, but I probably have 12 favorite places to play.
For sure. Any places closed down that you're gonna miss?
Oh God! Shout out to Dizzy Rooster and Chuggin' Monkey, man. I was the Thursday residency there for a long time, and that place that felt like a clubhouse to me. I loved all the managers there. Jesus Christ, so many of the bartenders there are like some of my good friends now. Shout out to Brock. He's my favorite.
Brock's a good dude.
Favorite bartender on Six, and Jermaine, Josh, the great dudes. So, and I know they're closed permanently. So that one stung, man. I came a little teary eyed, close to tears, big tears. But yeah, that sucked. So I'm definitely gonna miss that. That was two very special places, same family.
For sure, man. Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to being back out there. Hopefully that attitude, like you were talking about, continues for people appreciating the music and realizing that, at a moment's notice, it can all go away.
Absolutely, right? St. Patty's Day, one of the biggest party days of the year with some of the most epic crowds. My time slot on St. Patty's Day was like 2:00. And I was like, this is going to be lit. Like, this is going to be so fun. Then Audic Empire was going to play right after me. And then the rug just yanked right out from our feet, man. Like one of the biggest party days of the year. So exactly. Never know, man. It could all just go away.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing for all of us musicians to keep in mind going forward is diversify yourself and make sure that you have, different streams of income coming in so that you're not put in the position you're in right now.
Absolutely.